All right, so welcome to this radiology one-shot session, and I will try that in the next 3 hours, whatever that we have learned in the radiology, we are able to cover it in the most consolidated way, right? Do let me know that if you face any specific challenge. I hope the audio and video is absolutely fine for everyone, right? Chalo, so without wasting much of our time, let us start. You all must be having this unannotated PDF with you. The annotated PDF I will also share at the end of the class, though there will be not much I will be writing except some marking that I will be doing on the images. All right. So this is the broad division of radiology questions that you see in the exam. One question is gonna be on identification of the name of the investigation. So by the end of this session, you should be able to do that you should be able to identify various images that are there in the radiology. 2 to 4 questions will be on diagnosis on the basis of an image, where they will be giving you an image and you will be able to answer this. One question will be on nuclear scan. One question will be from radiotherapy. 2 questions on preferred radiological investigation, when a clinical scenario will be given and you will be asked the name of the investigation. 8 to 10 questions are on radiological image with the management of the patient, which we usually do not consider as a radiology, but if you know them, it makes your life a lot more easier. And 6 to 8 questions are when the radiology act as a part of a question, where your aim is not just to diagnose, but on the basis of the diagnosis, you might have to decide the management, and more important, that what could be the complication that has happened as a result of management of that. Okay. Now, I believe that these are the common topics, which is your checklist that you have to mark before you go for the exam. You should be aware about ankylosing spondylitis, abdominal trauma, barium studies, radiosensitivity, IVP, paranasal sinuses, chest x-rays, shape of vertebrae, PET scan, shape of heart, renal masses, shape of skull, MCUs, brain tumor, RGU, intussusception, HSG, mediastinal masses, head trauma, pregnancy ultrasound, pneumoperitoneum. And these are the very standard topics that you're gonna come across. Make sure that once you're going for the exam, you can put a tick that you have covered this particular topic. I am telling you, you will be very confident when you will be going for the exam, and all that matter in the exam is this confidence. All right, chalo. So now let us start the radiology one shot. है ना? चलो कुर्सी की पेटी बांध लो. So now let us see. So when we talk about radiological investigation, we know that the investigations are of 2 types, ionizing and non-ionizing. Certain investigation give ionizing radiation and certain investigation does not give any ionizing radiation. What are the important investigation that does not give any ionizing radiation? We have got 2, MRI and ultrasound. MRI and ultrasound are the 2 important radiological investigation that will not give any ionizing radiation. Rest all are gonna give ionizing radiation. In the ionizing, some investigation uses gamma rays and some investigation uses X-rays. Those investigation which uses gamma rays, these are called as nuclear scan. What are the common examples of nuclear scan? PET, SPECT, DTPA, DMSA, MAC3, Pertecnate, MIBG, System-EB, HIDA, bone scan, octotide scan, selenium methionine scan, thallium scan, and Muga scan. Now these are the examples of gamma rays. Always remember, when any of these investigation is given, your answer will be they uses ionizing radiation but not X-rays, gamma rays, and you should be able to remember their uses also, that we will be doing in a second. The investigation that uses X-rays, these are called as radiological scan. Now what are these scans which come into this category? Radiography, CT scan, mammography, IVP, HSG, hysterosalpingography, MCU, RGU, angiography, and DEXA. DEXA stands for dual energy X-ray absorptiometry. Now this is a very important table, and I want this should be on your tips once you're gonna go for the exam. Now you might see some of the typo, so you can correct them as I'm gonna go along. MIBG. MIBG is used for pheochromocytoma, right? It is used for the localization of pheochromocytoma. Lot of MCQs have been asked on this. It is to be noted that once you want to diagnose pheochromocytoma, you look at a biochemical workup, urine metanephrine, urine VMA. These are the ways to diagnose it along with the clinical history. Then you want to localize it. And if it's an adrenal pheochromocytoma, that can be localized by MRI, right? But if MRI fails to identify, then we think about extra-adrenal pheochromocytoma, and that are usually picked up by nuclear scans. System EB scan is for parathyroid adenoma, whereas HIDA scan is for biliary atresia. Now you have to tell me what is another very important role of HIDA scan. MDP is for bone scan, which is for osteoblastic activity. Selenium methionine scan is for pancreatic imaging, whereas octreotide scan is for neuroendocrine tumor. I always say neuro. Whenever this word neuro comes, we jump to MRI. There are very few places where along with the neuro answer will not be MRI, and this is one such example, which is somatostatin receptor scintigraphy. Thallium scan. Thallium scan is done for the assessment of myocardial viability, whereas Muga scan is done for ventricular function. Now don't forget this, that myocardial viability helps you in identifying reversibility of myocardial ischemia. And I think if you remember, most important test or the best non-invasive test for assessment of myocardial viability is actually FDG PET, right? Whereas the most accurate test for ventricular function is cardiac MRI. Now these are some of the factual stuff in the nuclear scan that you should remember. Now this is my favorite slide, and I want everybody to know this. It will help you in selecting which radiological test to be done for which case. Now if you want to see bone, don't forget that the cortical part of the bone is better seen on CT, whereas the spongy part of the bone, which is the bone marrow, is better seen on MRI. C for cortex, C for CT, M for marrow, M for MRI. If you want to see air, acute hematoma, or calculi or calcification anywhere, CT is a better investigation. However, if you want to see neural tissues, ligaments, tendons, cartilage, fibrous tissue or muscle, MRI is a preferred investigation. Whenever you want to see fluid, most useful imaging investigation is ultrasound. So whenever you are selecting that the answer of this will be ultrasound, CT or MRI, look at which tissue you want to check. And according to that, try to pick up the answer as ultrasound, CT or MR. Now, let us go to a very, very basic aspect, that whenever you see any radiograph in your life, don't forget that you have to learn to look at three densities. If something is seen as this white, see this white, then this I would like to call it as bone density, right? I would like to call it as bone density. When something is looking like this, that means this is less white than the bony density. I would like to call it as soft tissue density. And when something is a black like this, then I would like to call it as air density. Remember, any radiograph, when you see, you have to divide it into these three densities: bone density, soft tissue density or air density, right? Never forget, if it is air density, it will be black, and if it is black, it has to be air. Where? Anywhere. If it is black on X-ray, it has to be air. Now if it is grayish, then remember, it is soft tissue. It is soft tissue. If it is white, then I would like to call it as bone density, but not to forget that if it is white, it is either bone or stone. If it is white, it is either bone or stone. Now, if it is in the lumen, then it is calculus. If it is in the tissue, then it is calcification, and that can be easily identified by seeing its shape. If the shape is round, oval, or taking the shape of the lumen, then it is calculus. However, if it is dot dot, if it is irregular, or if it is taking the shape of the organ, then it is calcification, right? You will see calculus in ureter, but you will see calcification in the liver. You will see calculus in gallbladder, but you will see calcification in pancreatic parenchyma. So look at the shape, look at the location, and these will help you in identifying whether it is calculus or calcification. This is a fundamental question that we get in the exam, and this is definitely give you an edge over others in the exam because we know that it's a competitive exam.